right, back to our breaking story now. David Makura has resigned as the Premier of Gauteng. This follows an announcement by the Gauteng Legislature of a special sitting on Thursday to elect a new Premier. But we already know who that is going to be. Let's cross to SABC News' senior political reporter, Samkele Maseko, who's in Kempton Park. Samkele, so the President has already confirmed Panyaza Lesufi.
Yes, indeed. A short while ago, we did stop ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa, where he did confirm that Panyaza Lesufi is the new Premier of Gauteng, particularly knowing that the ANC last month held a special PEC in the province where they deliberated on 3 names to be sent to the ANC's top brass for an interview process, with the names of Panyaza Lesufi topping that particular list, and also Kidiboni Dial being number 3 on that particular list of the ANC within the province for the premiership. And Tasneem Mutara as well was part of those whom were sent to the ANC to be interviewed for the premiership position. But ultimately, the ANC nationally, the top brass, the top 6, are choosing Panyaza Lesufi as the Premier of the province. The ANC provincially has issued out a statement saying that they have seen media reports citing the resignation of Premier David Makura, and a special PEC meeting has essentially been called to deliberate on the resignation of the Premier of the province, who has resigned as Premier as of today and will resign as a member of the provincial legislature as of the 6th of October on Friday, which means that on Thursday, he will have an opportunity to vote for Panyaza Lesufi as the Premier of the province. Over the weekend, they did hold a soccer tournament out in the Vaal, where I saw a tweet from Panyaza Lesufi saying that a speech by David Makura left him very speechless, particularly about the future of the province of Gauteng.
All right, so give us more details. And for people who don't know the backstory here, Samkele, I mean, essentially there were 2 centres of power. Once Panyaza Lesufi came in as the head of the ANC in the province. So in a sense, this makes things easier if you've got the same head politically and then part of the executive. Is that correct?
Indeed, there were essentially 2 centres of power within the province, particularly knowing the outcomes of the provincial conference, knowing that the Panyaza Lesufi faction was not so dominant within the PEC of the province, and that in fact the Adiwele faction, led by TK Ngiza and led by Lebogang Maile, is in dominance within the PEC, and they are not allies specifically of the Premier, or the now former Premier of the province, David Makura. I just want to go, here is this tweet from Panyaza Lesufi a day ago, which says, quote, "Thank you so much, Premier David Makura, for the amazing vote of confidence. I was left with teary eyes throughout your speech. Be assured, GP is ours to protect. Adios." End of quote. That was Panyaza Lesufi, particularly after that soccer tournament that was out in the Vaal over this past weekend, where David Makura essentially spoke glowingly of Panyaza Lesufi and how he is handing over the reins of the leadership of the province to Panyaza Lesufi, who in turn at the provincial conference said, quote, "Makura, rest assured that we will carry your name as we go towards the December elective conference of the ANC," end of quote, which pretty much showed that Panyaza Lesufi's perspective within the province is aligned to the political ambitions of David Makura, who at some point did eye the position of Secretary General of the ANC, but through the branch nominations that have now taken place thus far, that would be a pipe dream for David Makura to essentially be the Secretary General of the ANC. But what may be in store for David Makura is that South Africa currently does not have a Minister of Public Service and Administration, which was left by the vacancy of Ayanda Dlodlo taking up a job at the World Bank. And President Ramaphosa, we posed that question to him on where the future lies for David Makura. He could not confirm nor deny that David Makura is headed to Parliament as a Member of Parliament and subsequently headed to Pretoria as a Deputy Minister or a Minister. But on the issue of going to Parliament, he said that it would mean that the ANC would have to amend its national to national list of members who are to be sworn in Parliament, or amend its province to national list of Gauteng for its members whom can be sworn in as members of Parliament. But what is pretty clear is that there are those negotiations for David Makura to be accommodated nationally as a member of cabinet or deputy minister in either of the portfolios, should there be a pending reshuffle within the country.
All right, so we'll wait and see where he goes. Very quickly, Samkele, a lot of people know Panyaza Lesufi from his portfolio in education. He's been very active. He speaks to the media a lot, brings a lot of energy. Do we expect the same? And you say they are politically aligned. What does that mean for the ambitions of Cyril Ramaphosa if he goes for a second term, for the divisions within the ANC? How will it all affect the December conference? Quickly.
The smooth easing in of Panyaza Lesufi and transition within Gauteng. Yes, there were a few reactions here and there, but it essentially tells you that Cyril Ramaphosa is also aligning himself with the new PEC of Gauteng, giving them everything that they want, particularly knowing that he's heading towards a conference in December where he's gunning for a second term. So by easing up the transition and getting in a new and fresher blood within the provincial executive of the government within Gauteng. As you know, with Panyaza Lesufi leaving the Department of Education within the province and going towards the premiership, a new MEC of Education would come in. There would be a cabinet reshuffle in the province. We also do and have heard that some ministers may be shifted around from particularly infrastructure, health, human settlements, new younger MECs may be coming in. We've heard the names of the likes of Lesego Spitfire Makubela being touted, about the likes of Matume Chilwane as well being touted and branded about. So it essentially tells you, and we may also see the return of Dr. Bandile Masuku within the ministry, within the MEC position in the province. He may be moving to social development, he may be moving to another department, but he may certainly not be moving to health. But you may see that you will see particularly a huge reshuffle. Some MECs who are within the officials of the province will be kept within their departments, or they will be shifted around, but there is definitely a cabinet reshuffle. Yes, ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa has been strengthened, has been emboldened going towards the 55th National Conference of the ANC, but it is too early to tell whom will close that conference, particularly with Pala hanging over his head.
All right, thank you for making it all very clear for us. Senior political reporter Samkele Maseko.